You see this painting, please try to remember the title, The Persistence of Memory. Now that you have the title of it, could someone try to interpret the meaning of it through your questions earlier? Now, by connecting it to memory, who would like to do it? So it's very important for you to know the global or national current situation, and as not just GP students, but I need to know why is there a need for everyone to know what's going on worldwide. May I ask, sorry. Okay. May I ask another person to answer this one? Raymond, would you like to share? Hi, good day. We are on our second day of our e-learning festival 2020, and this is our summer program here in Binabang School. I'm handling the course How to Write Your Very First Book in 10 Days, and I'm so happy because I have 20 students registered, 10 for week 1 and 10 for week 2. I actually limited the number to 20 because I also want to have enough time to edit, to give feedback, to give suggestions, and to really help them individually. And yesterday was our first meeting, and I was so excited. They were all excited when I was asking them, what made you decide to register for this course? So they were telling me, I love reading, I love writing, I want to be an author someday. And I told them, welcome, this is your chance, and you are on the right course, and hopefully you will be able to do it. Hopefully I'll be able to bring out the authors in them as young as they are. And actually this is my very first time to try working on a writing process or a book writing process in 10 days. The longest time frame that I had way back in the Philippines when I asked my students to write the very first book was 1 year. And here in Binabang School, I tried asking my students to write the very first book for 2 terms and then 1 term. And this time, I'm gonna attempt to break all those records, and we'll try to produce authors after 10 days, and hopefully it could happen. So yesterday during my first session with them, I started by telling them that they have to be free. I reiterated to them that as writers or as authors, they have to be free. There should be no barrier, there should be no restrictions, or else you're gonna be boxing yourselves and you'll not be able to bring out the writers in you. So they have to be free. That was my first rule. And then I also showed them some photos of the sample books that my students wrote in the past, and also motivated them that they could do the same thing. So they asked me, did they write the book in 10 days? I told them no, they wrote in 1 year. They wrote in 2 terms, but I told them, let us see. Hopefully this will happen, and they are all excited. And actually, after our first session yesterday, immediately they sent to me some samples or some masterpieces, and I started editing yesterday. And non-stop until nighttime, they were asking me questions, they were asking for suggestions, how to name your character, how to add more sensory details, etc. So, and this morning I also received new entries from them. So non-stop since this morning after my second session with them, I've been editing entries, and I'll be doing it until tonight. This morning also during our second session, I asked them to watch a YouTube video shared by a best-selling author, and I told them, don't just learn from me, we have to learn from the experts, from those who have already produced masterpieces worldwide. So I asked them to jot down notes and listen and learn from her, and yeah, hopefully we will be able to produce masterpieces after 10 days, and I'll be giving you updates later on. And I still have to continue working so I could return some of the papers, and yeah, the work should continue, and I'll give you more updates later on. Thank you. Good day. We are on our 4th day of our e-learning program in Binabang School, and this is our online summer program. We want to make it sure that despite the closures and despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we are helping the students, we are reaching out to them to our e-learning programs, and we want to ensure that learning continues despite all the chaos happening around the world, and the parents are also happy about these programs that we're having. So we started 4 days ago with my course, titled How to Write a Book in 10 Days, and I met these 10 students who were so excited about the learning process, and immediately, even during day one, they started submitting to me entries, and I started giving to them feedback, suggestions, and they are good because they learn easily. They accept my suggestions, my corrections positively, and immediately the moment they return their second drafts to me, I have already seen and felt the story. And during my first feedbacking to them, I told them that I want to be there in your setting. I want you to bring me to the place that you're talking about. I want to meet the characters that you're trying to build, trying to present to the readers. Because during day one, day two, I told them that, hey, I could not feel the fears in your characters. I could not feel their happiness. I could not see the place that you're talking about. Bring me to that forest. Bring me to that classroom. Bring me to that particular place that you're talking about in your book. Immediately during third day and today, I was telling them that, hey, I started to feel your story. I started to listen to the voices of your characters. So I would say that they have been doing a great job. During my first session with them, I also told them some tips. And one of the tips I gave them was to start thinking of a title for their very first book. And one of them commented, Miss, isn't it that we are supposed to start writing first before thinking of a title, because that's what our teachers taught us? And I said, I'm not saying that your teachers are wrong, but listen to my style. I told them. I asked them, do you have a pet? And they said yes. Could you please tell me the name of your pet? And they started mentioning names. Do you have a car, a family car? And I asked them, did someone from the family name that car? Because I myself, when I bought my first mountain bike here in Indonesia, I named that bike Spooner. So I also told them, name other things that you can find at home wherein you named it. And someone said, I named my pillow something. Okay, so I told them, what happened when you started calling them by their names? And someone said, I started to have a little attachment or a certain attachment to that pillow or to that pet. And I said, yes, that's it. That's the same thing that I want you to have before even writing your book. I want you to have a certain connection to the project that we are having. I want you to name your book. So I asked them to propose 3 titles, which I approved already, and they gave me interesting titles. And I told them, don't explain. I just need to choose, and if you're happy with my choice, let me know, and that would be your final title. But I also told them that you are free to change this later on if you will be able to come up with one. But I told them, own it, claim it, and have an attachment to it. Because the moment you name your pet, the moment you name your car, the moment you name your pillow, the moment you name your bike, it's like you are already having a certain connection or responsibility towards that particular thing, particular pet, and you become closer to it, and you will do everything to make it better, to love that pet, to love that bike, etc. So also I told them that you have to think of your favorite authors. We are not going to copy them, but I want you to think of yourselves as authors as early as this time, and make it sure that you are able to impart to your readers what you really want them to learn. And I also shared to them my favorite authors like Paulo Coelho, and of course Harvey Mackay, and Luis L'Amour. And I told them that every time I read books from these authors, I have a little notebook with me wherein I write all the important lines, striking lines that I think I could carry with me all throughout my life. So when I read the book of Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist, of course I had so many lines written in my notebook. Same with Harvey Mackay, the one who wrote Shark Proof or Beware the Naked Man Who Offers You Shirt. I had also a little notebook with all the things I learned from that book. And of course, another favorite of mine is Luis L'Amour, the one who wrote Jubal Saket. It's about adventure. I told them I became more adventurous when I read the book titled Jubal Saket. So it's the same thing that I want you to learn. When you are writing your book, I want you to have a connection with your readers by letting them learn something so unique that only your book could offer. So right now, that's the process that we're having, and I told them that, like what Luis Lamour mentioned, if you would not turn on the faucet, the water would not flow. So like, just begin writing. I am here to turn on the faucet so that the water would flow. Let it flow, let your ideas flow. And for those young ones who could probably see or hear me talking right now, you may not be my student here, but probably you could also get tips from me and apply that. If you want to learn, it's not too late. You are not too old or too young to write. Just start writing. I've been telling my students, beginning is half done. The moment you begin writing, you're halfway through it. Okay, I'll be giving you more updates next time, and hopefully I'll be showing you some photos of the novels that my students will be able to produce after 10 days. Thank you. Hi, good day. It is day 10 of our e-learning festival here in Binabangsa School, and today I'd like to give you updates regarding my course, How to Write Your Very First Book in 10 Days. I'm so happy and so proud to say that my students were able to make it. They were able to accomplish their task and mission of writing their very first book or novel in 10 days.
My name is Adrian. I'm from BBSKJ. So when this e-learning festival happened, we were told to pick courses. There was this How to Write a Book in 10 Days. I learned many things from this online course, and I chose this course because I love writing and fashioning like little scenes in my head. It greatly enhanced my writing capabilities and skills. We were going to write a book in 10 days. 10 days. Is that even possible? Authors write books and they can take like from weeks to months to even years. But I managed to pull it off. Isn't that pretty cool? I now have my own copy of my original book called The Man from Mithshar, a nobody from nowhere. The message I'm trying to spread is anyone can be anything, no matter where you're from.
So from this journey, I have learned so much along the way, and usually I would only write stories just to meet the deadline or for schoolwork in general. And from this 10-day period, since there are no limits, it's really great for me because I think outside the box and it goes everywhere. Like I can think of this, and actually I can still combine them all together. So my original plan for the book was to make it somehow of an adventure diary, but along the lines I've added lines that would match the theme of basically finding one's inner peace during this chaotic world, and through the challenges you can find the hope within you. I also included lines that would make the readers feel like they are also experiencing, like what the characters are doing are related to me.
I'm the author of Behind the Mask, which is what I wrote for the e-learning festival, writing a book in 10 days. Throughout the course, I learned how to make the readers feel the emotions and expressions that I was trying to send them. I also learned how to make them visualize about the scenarios that I had in mind that I wanted them to imagine as well. And about my book, it follows Asahi Yamamoto, his twin sister, and their new life in Tokyo.
I'm here to talk about my course, which is writing a book in just 10 days. Throughout the course, I learned that writing a book isn't as easy as one might expect. Not only because of the grammar or the words that you have to choose so your reader could visualize the character or the settings, but also the logical order that ties your story together. My book is called 26 February in New York, which is about a reporter that traveled through time and has to solve a mystery over there before she can go back to her present time. Writing a book needs a lot of dedication, time and effort and all that jazz, and even research sometimes. And I hope that everybody actually tried once in their lifetime to write a book.
So the novel that I made was about 4 characters from 4 different species, and the story was mainly about how they accomplished the mission together as a team. So the book that I was making was mainly about comedy and adventure. So and from this course I learned a lot of great things, such as how should I describe the setting and the time of my plot using writer's effect. I'd like to end this video by saying thank you to Miss Leslie for her support and advices to her students. And if it wasn't for her, I think it will be quite impossible for me to able to complete my first novel. So in conclusion, I learned a lot. I actually learned a lot from this course, and I absolutely love this course from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for listening.
Love writing, and I really love the challenge of bringing out the best in my students. I always relate myself to them. I could always imagine how I started when I was their age, and I hope someday they'll be able to remember that, hey, someone gave me that chance to write. Someone made me realize that I'm capable of writing, and that is my dream. Yeah, I promise and I commit to this particular mission. I would not stop writing. I would not be tired of discovering talents or students who will be able to write their masterpieces. And I think that is why I chose to become an English teacher.